Hello. So today I wanted to talk to you about Life as Lich, which is the latest game that I have submitted to the publisher, to Choice of Games. So I submitted that on the 9th of February. The game is currently about 200,000 words, and in it you'll play as an undead Lich. And so essentially the game will start after you've performed this ritual to become an undead necromancer. And in the game you'll have to recruit undead minions. There's a significant component of management. So you'll have to manage your minions and then get them to excavate and mine resources, etc. You have to explore your your underground dungeon. So you're going to be inhabiting a dungeon that was already inhabited before by a previous necromancer. So, and you'll also have the opportunity to travel to other planes of existence and interact with other immortal beings, demigods, gods, demons, etc. In the game, you'll have to carefully balance the research of new spells, so you can research new spells like how to become immortal, how to become a demigod, or how to banish demons, etc. And also you can study spells which are already in your library. And yes, you'll have to manage your undead minions and cultists. Of course, if you have a lot of them, then this will become challenging. And you'll have to also deal with threats originating from your own world or the planes of existence. So, there are different ways to end the game. One is the possibility of actually becoming a demigod and abandoning your own skeletal form and becoming a higher being if you want. So this is quite difficult, and you'll have to get artifacts, etc., research spells to do this. You'll also be able to maybe decide that you don't like being undead after all, and you want to reincarnate and become living being once more. And the game does offer, like many of my games, the possibility of either being evil and, well, killing people and turning them into zombies, or actually becoming a rather benevolent necromancer, if that is possible. There's also some romance in this. You can romance some other undead characters, or you can just be alone. I mean, some people don't think that this is especially fitting to the theme of the game. But anyway, there are other characters that you can interact with. And this is maybe, it can be a sequel to either the game of Tokyo Wizard, if you finished that game and became a Lich, or it can be a sequel to Raiders of Ice Peak Mountains. I haven't created that ending in Raiders of Ice Peak Mountains yet, but I will in the coming weeks. Or you can create a new character and you can start in a modern day Japan, or you can start in a fantasy world. There are over 50 unique spells that you can research or learn and cast. You can travel to different places in existence, as I said, and your armies are composed of a mixture of skeletons, zombies, ghouls, necrodragons, golems. You can even create a rat army and march that into battle. And as I said, you can manage your minions, you can allocate them to do different things. For example, the ghouls can start to recruit cultists for you, creating a cult to around your figure. They can also serve as spies. Skeletons and zombies can manufacture weapons, they can work at a forge, they can do many things. So there's quite a lot of variety in this game in terms of what I wanted to do. And from the start, it was written as both a sequel and a standalone game, depending on whether you started from Tokyo Wizard or you just want to create a new game. I said it can be a management game or not. There's a lot of different creatures you can battle or befriend. For that, you can interact with demons, people from other planes, demigods, etc. And you can maybe partially ignore that and actually just focus on the story. There is a story there, and for that you don't need to maybe do that much management. Especially if you're playing on very easy mode. So I've created, like in many of my games, different difficulty settings. So if you play on very easy, then the game becomes quite easy in terms of the management. If you really want a challenge, then you can play on impossible. I don't think it should be possible to get a good ending if you play in that mode, but you know, you're welcome to try. Again, yes, you can play as male, female, non-binary. You can romance up to 3 different characters, which can be either male or female, depending on your choice. There's a variety of different game paths and stories. as with many of my games, there are multiple side missions, there are multiple endings. So at different points in the game, you'll be asked whether you want to travel to places, and the choice will be yours where you want to travel. So there is a lot. The game is not hasn't been written in a way that's railroads you into a certain path, but rather you have a lot of freedom on what to do. And yes, I've started to develop a Patreon channel. So those that subscribe to my Patreon channel will be able to get early access to the beta of the game before it's published. So basically, Life as a Lich is now there. So if you want to playtest it, you can. The game is finished; it's been submitted, but now it's great. While it's being checked, if you want to playtest it and give some feedback, then it's great. But that will only be available to those who are on my Patreon channel. And also, at the beginning of every month now, I'm going to hold a vote on side mission for one of my games. So this is the latest poll that I ran. And it seems people decided that they want me to create a side mission for Hero Villain Genesis. So I'll spend 1 or 2 days this month working on this new side mission. Next month I'll do a poll once again, asking people to what they want me to work, and to suggest. I mean, people can suggest what they want me to work on, and then also vote on it. So yes, there are different levels, and according to the different levels on Patreon, then people will have extra power to vote, etc. What do I want to do next? Well, I will also coded the cheat codes for Life as a Lich. I'll post this new YouTube video on Patreon already. So these are all, some of them have been coded into the game. I will code more later, but now the files are with Choice of Games. So while Choice of Games are looking at the files, I can actually modify the game. So new modifications will only happen in March or April. This new side mission for Hero Villain Genesis, as per the poll. So that's what I'll be working on in the coming weeks. I then want to add new endings to Ice Peak Mountains so that it can tie into Life as Lich, and I will continue to work on Hero or Villain Armageddon, which has been left for a while, but I want to come back to that. And what then for the rest of the year? I'm hopefully kickstarting my second card game, Fantasy Tavern Brawl. So I'll put the link to the pre-launch page on the comment on below. Maybe I might work on a new DLC for Hero Villain. Life as Demigod is a possibility. I'm not sure, depending on how good is the reception for Life as Lich. The Nebula is my first game, the first game that I did, so maybe I should try to finish that and possibly work on a DLC for Highway Wars. I don't know, depending on what people think. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and this is the link to my Patreon channel.